Hello everybody and welcome again to the Dr. Leria's world, and today again in Unreal Engine. Today we are going to work with a more complex thing, and we are going to do it adding more interactivity. If you remember, in a previous video tutorial we were talking about how to make interactions with our animations. I let you hear the link in the dark box. So today I want to do one step more, and I want to work with the interaction with the dynamic lighting in our scene. So like that we're going to work using two methods really easy using blueprints. The first one is a manual method, and we are going to use our keyboard to switch on or switch off our lighting, and the second one is the automatic method. As you have seen, now you can make more complex and interactive projects, so if you are interested, please keep watching this video tutorial. And now, like always guys, if you are enjoying this video tutorial, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's go to the party. So now we are here in Unreal Engine, and I want to explain you how to make great interactions in our scene, and we are going to switch on and switch off our lightings using our keyboard and also using automatic method. As we have seen in the door animation video tutorial, we are going to use more or less the same tricks using blueprints, and we are going to work in this scene with our illumination fully baked, and also we are going to use our movable doors that are affecting these volumetric light maps. And now, like always, the first thing we want to do is create a new blueprint. Okay, we choose an actor and we name it, for example, like a BP light, this is gonna be keyboard, okay? We place it here, for example, in our kitchen. Okay, and let's open it. Now what we want to do is let's add a box collider. Okay, let's compile and save. We go to our viewport, we check for our box collider, and now what we want to do is resize, so like that this will be our region that is affecting to the collision for our first person character. It's okay like that. Now our first person character is colliding. Okay, and now let's make our interaction. So we go to our graph event, we check our box collider, and now we add our first event, is this one, begin overlapping, and we do the same with our finish event, this one, finish overlapping. Okay, so now what we want to do is add a new variable, and we name it, for example, like input enable. So now in our begin overlapping we need to find for our first person character, so let's look for cast first person character. We got it here, we connect the other actor to the object. Okay, and now we set here our variable, it's input enable, and we check it. Okay, the next step we want to do is activate our input. So now we connect it to our controller, and now like that we have enabled our input keyboard for the controller. So now let me show you again. Here we are detecting our collision, we cast our first person character, we check our input enable variable. Okay, we got it here, and finish we connect it to our activate input to enable our keyboard. Okay, now we're gonna do the same, so let's copy and paste this part of the blueprint. Let's connect it here with our end overlapping. Okay, and now we check for our deactivate input. So now like that we are not allowing the input events. We have our end overlapping, we look for our character in the scene. Don't forget to connect these nodes in your blueprint. So here we have found our first person character, and we uncheck this input enable variable. Okay, and now we deactivate our input for our main controller. So far we are not doing anything special. Okay, so let's compile and save, and let's play here. Okay, and look at the blueprint, it's working well. So like that we are setting a boolean variable. Now what we're gonna do is which key we are going to use to activate the input. So for example we use the one in our keyboard, and now in the process event we need to do a branch. So like that we have a condition, and our condition is our input enable. Okay, we get it here and we connect it to our condition. So now it's easy. If we press 1, if our input enable is checked, and if it's true, we do a condition here. Okay, so now what we need to do is check for our lights here in the scene. So for example these two spotlights, and we are going to use a very simple method to locate the objects in our scene using tags. So we found it here in our details, and we can use the actor tag or the component tag. In this case, we are going to use the actor tag because this is a common variable. We are going to use the visibility. So now let me look here in our search detail for tag, and we add a new one, and our tag name is gonna be kitchen light, for example. So now let me look with this light, for example, and we do the same. We add a new tag and we set the same name. So like that we do the same with all the light we have in this area that we want to check and uncheck with the collision event. Okay, I've forgotten also this one, so let me check it because this is like a field light, and we go back again to our blueprint. We press 1, we do a branch, we check for our input enable, okay. Think also that we are changing this variable in this overlapping event. So now we're gonna true, and what we wanna do is get all actors with tag. You can also get all your actors with class and tag, but we don't care about it because we have set these tags in our lights. So we can do it easier and we can get all actors with tag, okay, and here we can write our tag name. So this will be the name that it will look for in the tags of the objects in our thing. And now what we want to do, look at this here, we are looking for our objects in this thing, okay, using this tag. So we do a function here is for each loop. Also we connect it like that, and here we are doing an array. I want to explain you also what is an array. Somehow visualize the array as if it were a drawer where you have many objects and you can organize and search them. And with this function for each loop, we make a root of each element that has found. So now what we want to do is find for the kind of element we have in this array. So we cast for light, okay? And now this is really easy to understand. You need to connect your array element to your object. So I hope you have understood well by now. And now the next step is we need to set our visibility. So here we set it for our light component. This automatically connected. And we need to check also this connection. And the next step we want to do is check for our visibility. So let me check here, we do a play, we press 1, and now it's working well. But now look at this, we need to check our visibility, also pressing the same key. You need to think also that this is for architectural visualization project, for example, and you need to do it really easy. So try to avoid using too many interactions and too many keys for your functions. And in this case, what we want to use is the same key for switch on and switch off our lighting. So look at this because this is really easy. We look here for a function is visible. And we add here also a not boolean value. And we connect it to our new visibility. So like that we are sending the opposite value in our lights for the adjust visibility function, okay? And now let me check because we have forgotten to connect one detail. This, we need to connect our light component to our meter. So let's compile and save, and we press play. We come in, we press 1, and we can switch on and switch off our lighting. It's working really well. Now we go far from our box collider, and I'm pressing here the 1 and it's not working. I'm coming in again and now it's working again. We're outside, it's not working, and we are inside again and it's working. So far you have seen that this is a very simple part, and I have tried to explain it with a maximum level of detail. Now we need to think we are working in an interactive application, and also we need, for example, a display. Let's say we can switch on or switch off our lighting. So now we create a new blueprint and we go here to user interface and we check for blueprint widget and we name it like widget kitchen, okay? Now we open it here. What we want to do, for example, is add a simple text like this one. Here, as you know, I'm recording this video tutorials in Spanish and after I translate it to English, so this is the main reason I'm using the Spanish interface, so I hope you can understand everything well. And for this reason I try to explain everything the best I can. So I'm placing here, for example, this text. Let me check again for this text. This I press 1 to commute your illumination. So this is really easy. Okay, now what we need to do is, if we are entering this area, we need to check for this blueprint, for this widget. And let's open again our BP Lights keyboard blueprint. And here, after our activating input, we create a widget. And we need to set our player. This is the player, our main controller in this thing. Now let me check for the class we are using for our widget. This one. Look at this here, we are creating a widget, but we are not adding to our screen. And this is really easy. We need to check here and add to our viewport. You need to connect your return value to your meta, and now it's connected and now it's added to your viewport. So let me play. But now we also have to check when we are outside from the collision zone to make this widget that we have created disappear. Now I want to teach you again how to use variables inside blueprints. I create a new one and I write a name like a widget kitchen. Okay. So now look at this here, because what we want to do is change the kind of variable here. So let me look, and we write here widget kitchen and we select our object reference. Something important in the objects we use in the blueprints are colors. These colors tells us what type of objects we are working on. And now what we want to do is set this new variable, the widget kitchen. Let me show you, because as you can see we can get the variable, or also we can set our variable. In this case we need to set it. So let's disconnect this one and we connect it here. We connect also our object and we connect our outputs, and now we have placed it. So now we look again for our N11 collision. We guess our first person character. We uncheck our input enable variable, and here we deactivate our input. And now what we want to do is, here we get our widget, we look for a function remove from parent, and we connect to our last output, is this one, the deactivating input. This is a really fast method. You have many ways to do it. We are not using graphic content that needs to be reused in our Steam, because this widget it's really lightweighted and you can do it like that. And now let me show you in play. We are going in, we are going out again, and it appears and disappears this widget, so everything is working well. Also we are using our keyboard with this manual method to switch our lights. And the next thing what we want to do is check for the material here in these objects, these lights. So we got it here, 4 lights, and we are using here the same method with tags that we have seen with our lights. So I have placed it here, for example, a kitchen light mesh. This is the tag name for our objects. You can create a new one, you can delete it, okay? We have already named these tags. So what we want to do is open again our blueprint. And now here everything is working well, so at the end of this blueprint we do the same. We get all actors with tag. You can do it also with class. But think about that we are using a unique name for tags and we are not worried about the class. So if you are being ordered with your names, you will not have any problem. Okay, we place our tag name here, and now we do the same with our lights. We do a for each loop. We connect it. And what we need to do is again the same. We need to cast for a static mesh actor. Let me look here. Okay, we got it here. You need to check your array element to your object. And now that we know that this is a static mesh actor, we need to find for adjust material for a static mesh component. Let's connect it here again. And with this function, we can change our materials. Look at this, because we are doing here a keyboard function, and now what we need to do is a branch. Let me place it here. And now we need to find for our condition. And this will be this condition that we have used it here before. This is visible. So like that, we connected in our new branch here. And now what we need to do is check for our material. This one, I think it's lights off. Let me check it also here in the details panel. So now we drop it here in the false output. And we look for adjust material again. We use also our static mesh component. And now we check for our light instrument, this material. So this will be our material for lights on. So let's compile and save. Let's play. We come in here in the collision area. Look at this. Okay, we have forgotten one thing. This is nothing special and very easy to solve. So we go back again to our blueprint, and we have forgotten to check here in our element index. So let me look here. We are using in this object the element 0, and for our element 1, the other material. So what we need to do is check this element index in our blueprint using the number 1. Well, we have already solved it, so let's try and play again, and look at this. Now it's working well. Look how we are switching on and switching off our lighting, and now we are switching also our materials, so now it's working perfectly. Now we are going to work with something similar using a blueprint, but in this bathroom. So we create a new blueprint here, and we name it like a BP lights automatic. We place it here. We do the same again as in the previously blueprint, so let's open. We add a new box collider. We go to our viewport. We can place it here, we can rescale, so you need to check for your collision area. And again, this is going to be automatic, so this is going to be really easy. We check here our box collider and we look for these events, like before, the begin overlapping and the end overlapping. And now again we do the same, we cast for our first person character. Okay, we connected. Don't forget to connect the other actor to the object. So what we want to do again is look for our lights here. And now we are going to do in the same way as in the previous blueprint. So let me look for tags. As you can see, we have it already assigned. And again, this is really easy. What we need to do is look for this tag here in this blueprint. So let me find here for the same function, get all actors with tag. And we paste the value here. Okay. So now we are looking for this tag value in our Steam. And now again we do a for each loop. Don't forget to make every connection like that. Okay. And like that we have found the object with this tag in our Steam. So here we cast for a light. This is a generic light because we are working with a common parameter, it's a visibility. And we don't need to check if it's a rect, point or a spotlight. So now again we find our adjust visibility. Don't forget to connect your nodes, like that. And we got it here. So now as this is the begin overlapping event, check the new visibility. And now we do the same, we copy and paste this part of the blueprint. We connect to our end overlapping. There are other methods to do this technique as in everything, but this one is simple and I'm trying to explain it as clearly as possible. So the last thing we need to do here is uncheck the new visibility, because we are ending the overlapping event. So let me play again. Now everything is working well with our lighting. And what we need to do again is check for the material in our light objects. So again we are going to do the same. We look for the tag. We have it here, already named. This one also, we are using this tag. So we go back again to our blueprint and let's do the same. We get all actors with tag. We find this tag here, do a for each loop, we connect it again, and I think you can understand pretty well because we are going to repeat the same process, so cast to a static mesh actor. We need to connect our array element, okay, this one, and now we can change our material here, and this is gonna be really easy because we are not using a keyboard entries, we are working just with a box overlapping events. So again, what we need to do is here adjust our material. Look at this, we are working with a static mesh component. Okay, so we connect it again, and what we need to set is, again, we need to check for our lighting. So here in the begin overlapping collision, we need to check for our light instrument, this one. This is gonna be our switch on lights. So we copy and paste again. So let me check here in the blueprint, and we check for this material, the off lighting material. So let's compile and save again. We play the game. Everything is working well, but look at this, we have forgotten again to set our material index. Don't worry about it, because this is really easy. What we need to do is to change our element index. We set it in 1 and 1. It's okay. So we play again, we come in. Now here in this bathroom, everything is okay. As you have seen, this is our automatic method. It's working really nice and really easy to use. And let me check it again here. We have here our manual method. We are using our keyboard, pressing the 1. We can switch on, switch off. And I also have to tell you that I like to use this type of method when I work on applications for my clients. I like to simplify and limit certain aspects of interactivity within the application. So think about that you need to explain to your client that when he is in front of a door, he needs to press, for example, the F key in his keyboard to open and close the door. He needs to press 1, 2. No, this is gonna be really crazy, so please keep it simple. But it's also something interesting to provide them with some methods so they can interact with the objects and the lighting of the thing. And for example, we can create areas that we can work automatically to avoid complications, like here in this bathroom, and that depends on you. Well, now and finally, we would like to be able to use this blueprint that we have created in other areas of this project, and the idea will be to reuse this code. And now in this bathroom, we want to do the same with these spotlights and with these point lights. So we go back again where we have our blueprint, and we talk about that in another video tutorial. We are going to use a public variable. So we open again our blueprint, and look at this here. In this function get all actors with tag, we need to set our public variable, and we can assign it very quickly from our project editor. I create it here, and this is gonna be our light type. But what we need to change here, we got it a boolean, and we need to change it for a string. This is gonna be a string variable, and let's duplicate the same, and we use the other one for our light mesh. We press here the eye icon, look at this, okay, and now these variables, when you compile, you got it here in your project editor. Look at this, we have our light type and our light mesh type. So now I want to copy again these values. So let me look here, and this value also, I paste it on the blueprint. This is really easy to understand. Now what we need to do is get this light type variable, and let's make a connection here in both events. And now we do the same with the other variable. It's here the light mesh type. So I place it here, I connect it in both events, we compile and save again, and now everything should work fine. So this is really easy. You can change this name this depending of the room, of this depending of the place you are using this blueprint. And you can set this value. So for example, we copy here. Let me do. Okay, we got it here, this blueprint. So let me check our size. Okay, it's more or less like that. And now what we need to do is check these lights. So look at this, we have already assigned the names. So we copy this one. And let me check also, because I think here, and look at this here, because we are not using the mesh objects for our lights. So we don't care about it, because you don't need to use it. So let's play. We come in here in the bathroom, everything is working well. Now we go outside and we go here in this bathroom, everything is working well. So we have done everything okay. And now we can reuse this blueprint in all the projects very easily. So now we do the same with other rooms. Let me look here. We have, for example, here these spotlights. These are spotlights, so we can use this tag name and we can do the same. We can change our name, for example, to bedroom light. You can reuse, for example, your other names in your blueprint. So I'm going to delete this blueprint that I had added before, and we are going to duplicate it again. This one to the other room. Okay, let me check with this point of view. It's better like that. Again, we resize our box collider component. It's okay here. What we need to do again is check our tag name. Let me look. We are using a bedroom light. We can use, for example, a bedroom light 2. This depending of the name you want to use in your project. Also here in this room, we are not using the spotlight objects. So again, you don't need to be worried about that. And to check finally, let's play and let's walk around this thing. It's working well. It's perfect. So now let me show you again working around this thing, and let me show you how it's working everything well here in this room. We are using here the automatic mode and it's working fine. And here in this bathroom, everything is working perfect and we have done really easy. And this is the manual mode using our keyboard to switch on and switch off the lights. So guys, you see it, with this simple technique you can make your custom blueprints and now you can add interaction to your projects. I hope you like these video tutorials, I hope you are learning, I hope you are enjoying, so please give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next video tutorial. Bye bye!